Morning, what's up, everybody? Hope you're having a good day so far, and you're ready for our Thursday morning live stream here on the Xtrades YouTube channel. I don't see anybody in the morning live stream channel, so maybe we have successfully transitioned everybody over to the YouTubes. So, what's up, Harry? Good morning to you. How are you, buddy? Good to see you here. Post something in the chat. We're live. All right. Send that out. I see a couple people popping into the morning live stream. So I'm going to go ahead and connect over there as well. What's up? Good morning to our friends on Discord. Let me get my screen sharing started over there, just so they can follow along. But again, pretty soon we will be totally winding down running this live stream through the Discord at all. Probably I'm going to shoot for, let's just call it end of the month. So starting in April, we will be exclusively on the Xtrades YouTube channel. So hey, what's up, the Unknown Reviews? I'm doing well. How are you? Good to see you in our YouTube stream channel, whatever we should call that. All right, we've got some viewers building up here, up to 8 folks. If you are here watching, please take a moment to chime in the chat, say hello. That way I know you're here. There's not really a great way, at least not that I'm aware of, with the YouTube to kind of keep an eye on who's, I guess, actually watching, paying attention, all that kind of stuff. So what's up, Mimi? What's up, Unknown Reviews? What's up, Harry? Glad to see you guys here and participating. What's up, EBK? Epic Turtles. I like it. I like Epic Turtles. Turtles are pretty epic. All right, so we are live on the Xtrades YouTube channel. So let's talk a little bit about what we've got going on here with the markets this morning after the very, at least as the way the market received it, very bullish reaction to what the Fed's rate decision was, which was a pause. No big surprises there. I think maybe the market was kind of holding itself back a little bit, just kind of wanting to make sure that there wasn't going to be any mentions of potential hikes with some of the hotter than expected inflation data that we've received recently. Jerome Powell addressed a lot of that at his press conference yesterday. They've also stood firm on they still expect to see 3 rate cuts happening this year. I think that's the thing that the market really clung to and moved on the most. They haven't yet really shown their hand very much on when they expect to start cutting those rates. I have said for a while now personally, I would expect that to start happening sometime in the second half of the year, second half of 2024. So probably either at the June possibly, but I would say probably at some point after June, we'll probably see them discussing rate cuts and actually implementing some rate cuts. So we'll wait and see how that plays out. But for now, I think any of the big data point events that the market participants would have been sort of trepidatious or concerned with are kind of all in the rear view, at least for the near-term future here. So let's talk a little bit about what we're seeing. Speaking of near-term future, let's talk about futures a little bit to kind of talk about where the market's at. What are we looking at? Clearly, we are fully bullish. We cleared out the last little supply zone that we had overhead with that move yesterday. I've put in a couple of new levels in addition to some existing fib extensions, which this is one that I drew a while ago, this 53.1275. That seems to be the level we're struggling with a little bit here this morning, but I think we also would be appropriate to probably add another set of fib extensions now that we've seen a new confirmed all-time high, a pullback and a bounce. That kind of gives us all the moves that we need to plot out some trend-based fib extensions. So let's go ahead and put some of those on there. Let's see what that brings, what that shows us as we try to prepare and predict as best we can. I think this candle printed just a little bit higher. As best we can, try to plan for and anticipate where the market is going to go next before it's even gotten there, or where it might find resistance, I guess is probably the better way to say that, before that's even happened. I kind of like the way that sets up. Right there, we've got a couple of confluences or near confluences. I could also see where this, excuse me, 4-hour level could potentially be a little bit higher, giving us some confluence up here. Price action plays out, which of these gets tested, then we can make some small adjustments to these fib extensions. But we do see some potential challenges before we get to this older set of fib extensions up here. So probably around 53.2675, we could start to find another resistance point. What color am I going to pick for this set? Let's go with this sort of pinkish color. So again, some potential kind of heavy traffic areas, right? Might not be easy to slide through all this, but then, you know, over 53.50, we could potentially see things really start to open up and be able to make some larger moves to the upside. So overall, again, quite bullish. We've got some stuff to think about as far as potential resistances that we haven't tested yet. Really, I think what I'd like to see at this point is probably a breakover and a back test of this 53.17, kind of where things have topped out here. I'd like to see a breakover and back test of that, and then we could start to test some of these other fib extensions. I'd probably be shooting somewhere up toward this 0.618. That's a key fib level. So right around 53.35. If we can break over and claim 53.17 as support, I wouldn't be surprised to see us make a push for 53.35. So keep that in mind. You can use that to trade SPY, SPX, you know, anything that's S&P related. You can use these levels on ES to your advantage. I also very often try to look for levels that seem to be key levels on both SPY and ES. Whenever you find those types of confluences, pay attention to those levels. Do something to mark them out with some significance, make them a, you know, color that really sticks out on your chart, or whatever the case might be. Because if you can find those confluences between futures and ETFs, so, you know, whether that be NQ and QQQ or ES and SPY, use those levels as often as you possibly can. Again, do something to mark them out, make them stick out on your chart. If we go to test those as, you know, support or resistance, you know, plan on being able to essentially, if we're testing as resistance, play, you know, at least a near-term rejection short type trade, or if we're coming down to it as support, you know, look to go long and potentially use that to catch the next leg up. So anyway, that's kind of where things are at with futures. Also got to see a little bit of how I like to do fib extensions. So with that, let's take a look at a few of the tickers that we did recently. We also see what's going on in the chat here. What's up, Sator? Oh, I think this is Satoru. What's up, buddy? Good morning to you. What's up, Kenny? Chris, my friend, my brother. Always good to see you here. Chris is the greatest ticker requester ever. He always finds the fire tickers that you know, he sets them up. I knock them down with the trade plan. All right, so we took a look at UNH on Tuesday morning's live stream. For those of you that were here with us, we are seeing with that move that the market made yesterday. In fact, it kind of gave us what looks like a pretty decently confirmed entry there in the morning, pulled back to the 200 SMA and the bullish flag here on the 15-minute chart. Caught that as support and pushed higher off of that. So would have been a good add to your position, average down opportunity in that range. Also still above the stop loss level for the plan. Haven't made it to any price targets yet on UNH, but I would be surprised if we don't start to see it hit some of these targets. So looks like a good confirmed entry for calls with a potential nice add point, and still shooting for this first target up there at 497.98. So keep an eye on this. You know, be careful rushing into anything right at market open, especially with the moves that we made yesterday, we could certainly see some profit taking right at open, which would, of course, cause a little bit of a pullback. So if you see that, that is probably your opportunity to, oh, gosh, let me try to not talk so fast. That is probably your opportunity to try to go long on things from that point forward. So again, overall market extremely bullish at the moment. Coffee in my life there. All right, next we're going to take a look at Palantir. Haven't gotten a confirmed entry on this yet, but as far as the trade plan goes, nice setup from a Neptune standpoint though. Ran right up to the 333 SMA, rejected, caught our bullish trend ribbon on top of the bullish flag there. Again, me personally, I'd want to see this 333 cleared out of the way. So once we get over that and we start back testing down in this buying pressure again, great opportunity to then take things long, and it continues to push up as we get toward the 25.50 call entry level. So if you did catch this run up yesterday and we get to 25.50 here shortly after open, which is or we open near that, which is also possible. Pre-market still has quite a bit of time left. I would certainly be looking to take profit if you're already in this as we get up to test that 25.50 level. But from a plan standpoint, nothing confirmed yet as far as going long. But again, those of you who have subscribed to Neptune and have access to it, we just put out that new video guide. I mean, these are the types of setups that I go over multiple times in that video, and I talk about these setups all the time. Again, you could, this is kind of the riskier entry down here, but still, overall, I think a decent entry. But once we get that 333 out of the way, then we start back testing all that as support again. That is your ideal entry point right there, and it continues to push higher. So that is the Palantir plan. Also want to just circle back to the member selected tickers, which is the tickers that our Discord group votes on each weekend, and I put together trade plans for based on what they vote for. So Apple was in high demand. I think it blew any other ticker request out of the water as far as the number of votes it received. And Tuesday morning we talked about this setup, right? I mean, if you go back and look at the recording that's on our YouTube page from Tuesday morning, I pointed this out specifically to everybody. Here we are talking about the 333 SMA again. I'm going to actually move these long short things just so they're out of the way, because I feel like it's kind of impeding on what I'm trying to show you guys. So we talked about how we were seeing Apple bouncing off this confluence rate. This is our call entry level from the member selected tickers plan here at 173.03. We had confluence right there, right dead on top of it with the 333 SMA. And we see, and so, I pointed this out going into pre-market on Tuesday. I said, listen, this is a great confluence, a great back test opportunity to get into this Apple trade, since it sort of made moves without us on that Google AI integration news that came out over the weekend after I did the plan, of course. So it had already kind of blown through all of our price targets at that point. And as I always say, be patient, wait for a back test, don't chase those entries. Even though this is the FOMO live stream, no FOMO when it comes to trading. The only thing you should fear of missing out on is joining these live streams, which is why we called it the FOMO live stream. So anyway, 333 SMA, 173.03 confluence. It was right there for you. We talked about it. I think it was like the 258 mark of the recording from Tuesday's live stream. This is a fantastic confluence setup. This is a great exit opportunity using Neptune right there at the key selling pressure. You see we did flatten out for a little bit there until the trend ribbon caught up. We got a long signal and eventually pushed through. All targets for that trade plan hit within the day if you took that entry. So, I mean, you could have really maximized the profit potential on this trade if you paid attention to what we talked about on Tuesday's live stream, and then you put that into action and executed the plan that was already there, was ready for you to go. And I even told you specifically where to get in on Tuesday morning. And as you can see, Apple continues to make new highs, has cleared over 177.37, or at least it did going into yesterday. We're wrestling with it again here a little bit. This morning we saw a rejection there. This is a level I've been talking about with regards to Apple for a while. As far as once we break through this and get a nice confirmed hold above we should see Apple really start to recoup a lot of the losses it's taken as it has lagged behind the market, which has been kind of interesting to watch because typically Apple is a key market driver with its heavy weighting in the S&P. So next we're going to take a look at Tesla. Again, this was a member selected ticker trade plan. Nice little confluence add point here. We did get a confirmed break and things kind of stalled out, pulled back going into Tuesday's live stream. I know we talked about Tesla. I don't know if I talked about this potential confluence setup. I'll have to go back and watch the recording to see if I did. But very, very, very similar to what we just talked about with Apple, right? We had a key level from our trade plan with our stop loss average down here at 167.25. Key SMA, at least the way I like to look at things here with the 200 trending to the upside. You get down near that is a good entry point, or potentially add average down point if you got in on Monday, and then we got caught in this pullback. Things have now pushed up through all that, and we're still trying to stretch to get up to PT1, but I'd be surprised if we don't see that sometime today with the way things are looking with the market. Could see Tesla pull back, and again, kind of looking at another potential confluence setup that could take place here right around 174.38. That could be a good point to enter if you're not already in, and then execute the trade plan from there. The other thing I would say is if you do use that as the entry point, I would also modify the plan to use 172.33 as your stop loss average down, and I wouldn't want us to be back below that, because if we do break back below that, then we could be coming back down as far as 169.63. We see another confluence setting up here with the 333 SMA and that weekly level there at 169.63. So keep that on watch when it comes to Tesla. And then Chewy had earnings last night. Our trade plan once again played out kind of without us, shot up through the call entry and then some, but has really kind of, I haven't looked at the numbers or what they said on the earnings call. That's a huge, massive beat on the earnings when they were, expecting to report negative earnings and actually reported positive earnings. That's huge for Chewy, I would say, and a big surprise beat from a percentage standpoint. Also a surprise on the revenue side of things, but they must have said something overly cautious on the conference call or something to that effect to cause this pullback and essentially erase all of those ER gains that they ran up on just based on the EPS and revenue numbers. So again, all of this is played out kind of without us. You could have played this with shares though, on the break above, scale out, they're at PT3, because those shares are still trading during extended hours. Options were kind of locked out of the fun at that point. But now we're back down below the put entry with bearish pressure on top. So this is, again, kind of interesting to see. I kind of, especially based on that, the numbers I just saw on their earnings report, at least at a glance, looks to me like one that is a kind of getting into a value buy area at this point. So, keep Chewy on watch. 1586, I believe, is either a first fib extension or the current all-time low. Yeah, I think that's the current all-time low, essentially, or right at it. So below 1586, it kind of opens up new price discovery to the downside, where we have fib extensions to the downside, very similar to the way we do them to the upside. Typically, you see them happening to the upside because that's what the market's designed to do. So it's designed to go up. So don't be surprised when that continues to happen day after day. A lot of people in our Discord were talking about, taking puts, and I tried to push them as hard as I could to go the other direction. Everybody assuming that FOMC was going to somehow tank the market. I think if that's the widely accepted expectation, then we should plan for the opposite to happen. All right, no request from Chris today. But he is liking DraftKings again. Okay, well, Chris, if you are still around and you want to drop a ticker request, please feel free to go ahead and do that. But Harry is already in here in the mix with Netflix, so let's start on our trade plans as we head into the trading day here. What do I think of shorting FedEx? We can take a quick look at that, and then I'll switch over to Netflix. But I'll take a quick look at that to see what Neptune shows us, at least at a glance. FedEx is not one I track often or pay a ton of attention to. It can be kind of a slow mover, low volume mover generally. Trades in the low millions of shares on a regular basis when it comes to volume. Generally speaking, I like to see like 5 million plus in volume for trading options. But as far as shorting it at the moment, let's take a look at no, we have not circled back to INTC yet, Mimi. So we're going to try to fit that in as soon as we wrap up Netflix. So I'm just taking a quick look at if there is anything that I can see that says, oh, this might be smart to short FedEx. They have earnings today too, so I would probably steer clear of this one if you're not already in it for some reason until after earnings. Certainly wouldn't want to short it going into earnings. Just because I don't, I say it all the time, stay the hell away from trading options for earnings. So as far as whether or not it's at a good point to short it, I mean, again, kind of looking at this at a glance, I mean, there's a potential resistance, some potential resistances overhead, but from a Neptune perspective, going all the way up to the 4-hour chart, I mean, everything says bullish to me. I'd wait for confirmation, wait for something to flip to the bearish side. I don't see any reason to try to short FedEx at this point. I think you're essentially trying to short strength and momentum, and I think the better approach to trades is always the trend is your friend. Use that to your advantage. Right now the trend is up. I don't see any reason to short it, and I'd be very cautious with earnings looming after hours today. So anyway, quick take on FedEx. Hope that's helpful for you. Unknown reviews. Let's get over to Netflix though, my boy Harry. Let's see what we've got here. Netflix has been cruising lately to the upside. Yeah, I mean, strong trend, nice bounces out of these key buying pressure areas and really kind of perfectly off that key buying level right there on Neptune with the SMAs working up in your favor. Here we see another 200 SMA and a bullish flag confluence. Great entry there Tuesday morning. Let's take a look at this. Let's put together some levels for it. I have not charted Netflix thoroughly up in this area. I think most of my levels and whatnot are down in the 400 range. So, and I don't think Netflix has been up in this, high 600 range for a lot of time. So let's see what we've got here from a price action standpoint. As we always do, we start with support and resistance. Really kind of this one's sticking out like a sore thumb as far as a weekly level goes. Right there at 594.80, but we're over that, so that's going to probably wind up being a part of a downside trade plan. Interesting, kind of flattening out here. This, I'm guessing, is the current all-time high on Netflix, 702.07, which was more than 52 weeks ago, so that's not going to be helpful. Yeah, I think that's probably where our all-time high is on Netflix. So let's go ahead and mark that as well. You want to pay attention to that. Kind of the golden ceiling there, if you will. All right, any other higher time frame weekly levels though near where Netflix is currently testing price action? Could be a level here. I think we would want to keep this on watch from a weekly perspective. It's not 100% confirmed, but looks pretty solid right there. So let's go to the daily chart. And again, we're gonna have to go back to this time frame back here. Use this use this prior historical price action to really kind of figure out what we should expect or what we should be looking for Netflix to do up in this range. History can be the greatest teacher of what's to come sometimes. I think that's especially true when it comes to stock market. Not seeing a lot there at that rejection on the daily. There is a level right here though that we're going to want to keep on watch. It sits right about there. And let me hide the indicators real quick just because sometimes those labels can get in the way of seeing where these candles are finding support and resistance. And we'll do one more level to the downside here. I'd be interested to see how this, or if this level is really reactive on this run up to Yeah, it's just a little bit lower, actually. Thought we were something nearby there. Sitting right there, though, for sure. And this is also an interesting level here on this recent run. Again, somewhere in this neck of the woods, but we're going to need to go back time a little bit. Let's see if there is, yeah, there's definitely something right at this spot. When you start to get good at finding support and resistance, sometimes you can kind of, they just start to stick out to me sometimes. But we get confirmation by going and looking at that historical price action to see, make sure we're not just shooting from the hip too much. This is probably the right way to say that. Yeah, there is a level here. It's a little bit lower than where I was looking based on this recent move. Yeah, that's actually right about where I wanted it to be, actually. So, all right. Anything else that we're going to need to be aware of, especially between this daily and weekly level? Let's get back to this section here. What time is this? This is November 30th of 21. I think we're going to need to break this down onto the 4-hour chart. Let's get there a little bit quicker, though. I'll get us there a lot faster if you're not using that little calendar tool with TradingView. Once you've found some kind of an area of price action that you want to focus on, but you need to change time frames, TradingView will generally take you right back to sort of the current price action. So always make a note of where you're looking at so it's easy to get back to that spot versus having to do a bunch of scrolling. Quick little TradingView tip for you guys there. Yeah, I think there's something worth watching at that spot. This is an interesting double top, but only really seeing resistance here. So we'll keep this on watch for a moment. Break into the hourly chart. Hopefully we can still go back that far on the hourly. I don't think we, oh yeah, we can. Okay, cool. Just took it a minute. Yeah, just resistance only there at that point. So for something to really kind of be a support resistance level, I should probably see it act as support and resistance, right? So when I only see one or the other, sometimes I'll mark a level, keep it on watch, but not really fully confirmed. This is an interesting level, though, based on the hourly chart. So let's start to fill in the blanks here a little bit. Let's go back to the current. I just wanted to see that sort of all-time high price action area. Yeah, we've got a level right in here that we're going to want to keep on watch. Could potentially wind up being a put entry by the looks of it. Any other levels down here? Lots of support down at this spot. Yeah, seeing it on both sides there. And again, I expect that we'll have a need for some levels down in this range. This one. And this one sticks out. All right, so call entry. Yeah, we're at an interesting spot here. Let's go back to our November 2021 area. We're testing this little top where we topped out here back in December of 21 before it pushed down. So it was kind of a back test of a level as resistance by the looks of it. Was it a good confirmed level though? Yeah, there's something sitting like right in this mix right here. Yeah, Stripe. I somehow wound up on a like trend of referring to Chris's random barnyard animals. We had, let's see, we had truffle pig. I think we had goose that lays the golden eggs. I think we had goat, greatest of all time. I mean, that's a gimme, right? I've tried to come up with better ways of describing his ability to find excellent trade setups that we then put plans together for that are a little bit, you know, less comparative to, again, barnyard animals for poor old Chris. All right. So yeah, I do like an entry if we can really push through this top here. Over that, there's kind of what looked like to me to be a fair value gap to the upside. Let's go back to this November timeframe. Yeah, I mean, I think we're looking for a move up to probably this weekly level. I mean, that really seems to be the key point to me. So I'm looking for 646.73 over the 632.51 level. Over that, this is an interesting rejection. Yeah, there's a little hourly level here that I don't think we'd want to ignore. We'll actually use that as a second price target, third price target. Just take a look at this a little bit. Yeah, right about here. Oh gosh, sketchy number there. 666. 666.90. I like that as a third price target. And yeah, I feel pretty good about using this for sure. Definitely want to use this weekly level as our stop loss average down for this call side. For the trade plan for the downside trade plan. Let's see where that starts to get interesting. And I don't really have a high expectation for this downside to materialize, but it could. So we're just going to take the time to plan things out. Let's plan it out for going both directions. We are going to have an overlap of our stop loss average down levels. First target for this downside plan. I like this daily level here at 605.05. Could potentially catch support a little bit higher, but 607.76. So kind of keep both those levels on watch. But I think 605.05 we have a good shot at that. And then I think we're looking at this weekly level, next target, 594.80. Third target, I'd be looking at 581.14. So here's what our trade plans look like before we go. Well, I already know that we're pretty much fully bullish across the board, but let's look at this with Neptune now in the mix. Does that change anything? I think we'll essentially be we got Neptune flag bullish there on the 1 hour, linking up with our put entry level. So I like that, right, to be a key support. If that breaks down, we should go lower, especially if we also, again, could kind of see this 200 winding up somewhere, creating a confluence there. If that flag continues this direction as well, we could break both, which I think opens up downside. So just wanted to kind of talk you guys through that. So yeah, I like this setup. I like this plan. The only thing I'd say is be careful jumping in too close to open. Even if we get a confirmed break, I'd really prefer a confirmed break and back test on this one personally. Otherwise, it feels a little bit of a chase. And we don't want to chase trades. We want to let the trades come to us, right? All right, so let's talk through this plan. Let me copy this link, drop it in the chat for you guys. This is the Netflix trade plan. Also post this in the watch lists for our Discord friends. Let's trade and stream. All right, so we'll talk through this real quick. We're looking for a break over 632.51 to go long on Netflix. Calls or shares, your choice. Some folks prefer stocks over options, a lot safer. So over 632.51, we're looking for targets at 646.73, 654.55, and 666.90. A little sketchy there with the stop loss average down at 621.26. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 616.12. That should bring targets at 605.05, 594.80, and 581.14 with the stop loss average down at 627.05. That is your Netflix trade plan, Harry. Go out there and crush with it. Make sure to post those gains in the winning trades channel of our Discord. All right, so let's take a look at Intel for Mimi. Intel looks to be kind of playing out an old trade plan. Let's see, the last time, or we did a trade plan for it back in February. We kind of saw here yesterday, pre-market, well, actually I should say between Tuesday and yesterday, run right up to that put entry level, so a back test of that put entry as resistance after catching PT3 from the prior trade plan, rejected that 200 SMA. Again, we've seen these confluences several times. Also, make sure that you're looking at multiple time frames. I think the couple that we've seen so far on Apple and Tesla are the two that stick out to me. I believe we're on the 15-minute. This one's on the hourly time frame here. 200 SMA, put entry, confluence, right, ran right up to that, rejected, all price targets hit within the day off that rejection. So what should we do with Intel from here is the question that we need to answer for our friend Mimi. It's trying to break out of the bearish flag here. And I was kind of eyeballing this level. We would flip some things back to the bullish side over 435. I'm sorry, 43.15. And if we get over 43.15, I'd be looking for another test of our put entry level that we rejected there pre-market on Wednesday, yesterday. I'd be looking for that to, whoops, how the hell did I just do that? Well, I don't need volume right now, so we'll get rid of it. Don't know what I hit to flip it to the upside there. But over 43.15, I like us to try to test this 44.08 resistance again. Over that, I mean, I would imagine we're probably going to be shooting for our stop loss average down from that plan. That's the next key level on the chart here. Yeah, I'd stand by that. 44.78. Then the question becomes, I think we're probably shooting for 45.22. Just take a look at this though. I don't know, actually. We could, Intel could, I should say, try to push for this call level up here, call entry level from the old plan. It's now call price target for us up here at 45.67. So I like those upside targets. Stop loss average down. Yeah, I'd set it right here at this 42.44. This was a previous price target from that old trade plan. I like it as a stop loss average down because if we break below that, we are essentially losing both these SMAs as support here on the 15-minute. I think that would also constitute a loss of at least other overhead on the hourly. So never mind. Nothing to help there on the hourly. So 15-minute though, again, a break below 42.44. We lose both those SMAs as potential support confluences, helping with our trade plan, giving us kind of a backstop underneath us once we take that confirmed entry over 43.15. So yeah, like 42.44. And I think either this 41.61 level, got it as kind of a placeholder color, so I'm thinking I was trying to confirm something down in this range. I've used that level a couple of times though, as far as trade plans go. And it's played out, because this is another, oh no, that's the same February trade plan. Sorry, I thought I saw two there that I went over. Yeah, but I mean, you see it there again. So yeah, I think we're looking for a break below this 41.61 level, confirmed break below it. Should bring more downside. The question then becomes, where do we go from there? And we're going to have to find that using some historical price action here on Intel. Shouldn't have to go back that far though. I remember it being in the 30s, what doesn't seem like too long ago, but maybe I'm imagining that. There is a potential another little support there, isn't there? What are we looking at here? December 7th, 23. Yeah, you know what? I'd give it that little bit of extra room. I think it just clears out a potential kind of bear trap bounce, kind of like what we saw here and here. So I am going to actually adjust this entry level down one. I think that's appropriate. So let's go back to December 7th. I think it was 2023, wasn't it? Oops. Yeah. All right. So holds there pretty much 41.25. So what happens below 41.25? Well, what happens is a bunch of areas that I have only, it looks like, done daily and weekly levels for. So let's see, what are we looking at now? November 15th, my birthday, 2023. So let's go take a look at that, but on a higher time frame. Well, I thought it was close enough. All right, so kind of thinking that we've got really first target here. This be an hourly level. So yeah, I'm looking at 39.47. If we lose that, support up here at 41.25. Below that, I'll be looking for this next weekly level down here at 38.07. And below that, be looking at 36.93. Yeah. Yep. I like those targets. I like these plans. I guess the only question is stop loss average down. I was kind of expecting to share a stop loss average down actually with the call side trade plan. And I think that is the right way to play this. So a little bit of a tighter window for the upside, but again, we are kind of sitting bearish at the moment on Intel as far as Neptune's concerned, so I think that's appropriate. Could we tighten up the downside stop loss at all? I guess is my only question looking at some smaller time frames here. I think we could actually, just a little bit. Not a big shift though, right here at 42.19. So let's talk about these trade plans real quick. All right, that's our upside trade plan, downside trade plan. Giving it some more room, but it also has more room to move down if we lose that support. So I think giving that stop loss some additional area is appropriate. Excuse me. All right, so what are we looking for here on Intel? Well, we're looking to take calls or go long on this thing over 43.15. That should bring us to targets at 44.08, 44.78, and 45.67 with a stop loss average down at 42.44. To the downside, we're looking for a break below that 41.25 level. That should bring targets at 39.47, 38.07, and 36.93 with a stop loss average down at 42.19. Mimi, those are your trade plans for Intel. So here is a link for those in our YouTube chat. And here is the image trade plan. NTC trade plan from the live stream. Oops, stream, finish spelling the word. All right. So with that, let me take a quick look. Yeah, see Charlene asked for MSTR, MU for Epic Turtles, coin going back to all-time highs. Let's see if we can't take a look at some of these things real quick, just through the ones of Neptune. Not going to really be able to put together full trade plans, but I do want to try to get to everybody's requests. Coin, the question for that is going back to all-time highs. Let's see. Well, clearly we've got a resistance up here at 272.03. That's a daily level. Again, that was already sitting on my chart. I didn't just draw that on that rejection. Big rejection off that level. I mean, really, if you look at it, it took us all the way down from 272 to 215, essentially, between this candle and this candle, these 2 weeks of trading. So over 272.03, I think it tries to continue to push higher, but there are a lot of resistances still to test and a ways to go before, I mean, really, all-time highs was the first week of Bitcoin trading on the markets, which is up at 430. So, I mean, I can't guarantee that we're going back to all-time highs. Certainly, if Bitcoin continues to make new all-time highs, we should expect to see coin follow suit for the most part. But I would really keep an eye, as far as coin goes, on this 272.03 level. Over that, I think you could go long with the first target up here at 281 and some change. So that's my quick take on coin there for Kenny. Now this looks like, so unfortunately I don't have the time to put together a good plan or thought process on now, because there are levels here that we would need to add. It does seem to be flipping things here bullish though on the hourly chart going into pre-market. Personally, I'd want to see a break over right around here, this 790.53 if you want to play for more upside. I'd use this rejection high up here around 1839 if you want a kind of quick idea of what to look for on service now. And then let's see, that was for Mel. I'm gonna go with Mel. Let's see, to the MicroStrategy again. This will be real quick. Come on, Neptune. There we go. MicroStrategy looks good if we can flip this hourly flag over to the bullish side. So look for a break at 1649 to go long on it. And MU just had earnings last night, so that's going to be MU. Take profits at open or don't chase. That's my take on that. I think this is new all-time highs as well, isn't it? Yeah. Again, this is another one where I'd really have to take some time to figure out and plot things out more, I guess, effectively. For MU, I mean, at a glance, as long as it's over 110.50, I mean, it looks good as a long. Keep a stop loss down here, 106.66. If you do take an entry near that 110.50, below 106.66, it could have a big pullback. We're a little bit overextended off that earnings report move, but yeah, I mean, strong numbers. I'm sure guidance was good. I can't think of any semiconductor that should struggle with guidance or giving a rosy outlook on the future right now with the heavy push of AI. So yeah, anyway, again, if you're already in this one, go ahead and take your profits. That's my take on that one, Epic Turtles. But unfortunately, I just don't ran out of time and don't have, again, we're printing all-time highs on this one, so it's just a little bit of a challenge to come up with a on-the-fly trade plan, and it's a little bit overextended at this point, so could see some profit taking. I would certainly wait for a pullback into this bullish flag on Neptune on the 15-minute, so anywhere again in that 110.30 to 106.50 range, probably where I would be looking to take the long or call entry. Keep a stop loss at the bottom of the flag there at 106.53. All right, so with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us on our YouTube channel this morning, and for those continuing to watch on Discord, again, just a reminder, for those watching on the Discord, my goal is to kind of just wrap up having anything being fed over to the Discord around the end of the month. So make sure that you are getting over to these YouTube streams. Start making that your habit, the place you go to watch the FOMO live streams. Also make sure that you do subscribe to the Xtrades YouTube channel. Eventually we are going to limit the live chat to our subscribers only. Right now it's wide open, but it costs you nothing to subscribe to the YouTube channel, so I do want to try to start to limit that, and also incentivize people to continue to follow what we're sharing here on Xtrades, because we have a lot of excellent analysts sharing a lot of really great content through our YouTube channel. I am one of many at Xtrades, and my part is doing these live streams. So anyway, with that, we are about 10 minutes out from market open. I need to go get the daily SPY plan together for our group in the Discord. So look for that in the options watch list here within the next 10 minutes. As we always say here on the FOMO live streams, plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there and get some green. I hope you guys have an excellent day. Best of luck, and I will see you Xtrades members in our Discord chat. Hope you guys have a great day. See you back here Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you for joining me.